I was a porn director. I produced movies in the States where it's illegal. Other than the general thrill of being bad, watching nymphos go at each other for nice sums of money, I enjoyed the sense of creating sensual body art in the conceited and hypocritical society we live in. Seems that nothing turns people on more than lovemaking and politics. Several times I've had legal trouble. Title 18, Section 1465. And even more times, I've been prepared with an attorney on the speed dial just in case. However, call it ignorance if you will, but I continued making these dirty movies. My only rules in the business were to A. know my boundaries, B. never step in front of the camera, and C. have talent, show identification, and most important, D. never touch alcohol on set. When you make porn, it can be very well as easy as it sounds. However, there are things you must be wary of, namely who you surround yourself with, which may wind up causing you more problems than facing the lawsuits I mentioned earlier. One such case began in the fall of 2011, after I'd come off a 5-year retirement from producing due to my aggressive alcoholism. I was contacted by a couple whom I'd previously worked with under a private contract to help revamp their aging marriage. Remembering how well they paid me, and having had 2 years sober under my belt, I decided to take a swing at the game once again. With a paycheck, I've chosen to keep the amount undisclosed, I hired a cameraman, rented sound equipment, and hired one of the horniest women I have ever met in my life as a fluffer, in case the wife was willing to let her husband get a freebie for timing reasons. We all met at the client's estate, and my camera guy, George, brought with him an assistant camera operator for more angles. This guy, going by the name of Holly, was a real piece of work. He was a crass, rude, and downplaying hypocrite, but damn it, I must admit, he had a gift while a camera was in his hands. George warned me of how much of a Fruit Loop he was, but as you should have expected by now, I've met several in this business. How ignorant I was not to screen him better. Holly got under my skin faster than a Justin Bieber song. From annoying the clientele to making rude gestures and comments that disgusted even the porn star I'd brought. He really got us with his apparent fascination with interspecies erotica, going into great detail of a sex life he shared with his pet cat. The worst thing happened when he mentioned he'd noticed the homeowners had a pet chihuahua themselves, though it wasn't present, and was obviously interested in seeing it. To this extent, I had never known the couple to own a pet due to the fact that it was kept in another room. At this point, both women in the room left, and the male client became infuriated with me for bringing this freak. I reminded him that George was in fact the one who brought him in without telling me, and as we turned to face him, we found that Holly and George were gone. Still pissed off myself, I walked and talked with my client as we entered the kitchen to find the women mixing drinks and doing cocaine. As I proceeded to relapse due to the disturbing evening, the client's wife was holding the pet chihuahua, who'd been kept in a downstairs bedroom while we were filming. However, the poor animal was weak and frail. shaking in a way I'd never seen a dog do so. The client's wife, stricken with horror, showed us a bloody towel she was using to hold the pet underneath it in her arms. It became painfully obvious what that creep had done, prompting me and the husband to charge out of the house in an attempt to confront Holly and George before they drove off the property. Sadly, George's car was gone, and we realized we hadn't even noticed them leave. Despite being forgiven for my involvement, I was harshly reminded why I retired in the first place. The new year has come to pass, and I've not even considered returning to porn ever again. However, I still drink to drown the horrors I've witnessed. And as an animal rights advocate, I don't care if anyone blames me. I kept in contact with the ex-clients until their filing for divorce in December of 2011. Something which I know I'm not responsible for in my heart. My once nymphomaniac, cock-loving friend has since become a born-again Christian. Good for her. And for George, or that creepy son of a bitch Holly, no idea. Though it's probably for the best that I never see them again. My attorney called me just last week, angrily demanding that I come to his office. As I entered the study, it was very clear he was truly upset with me. He went on to tell me the former clients were now suing me for animal cruelty. Finding this accusation ridiculous, my lawyer proceeded to level with me. It seems that a video emerged on one of my former porn sites, taking place in the extra bedroom at the ex-client's house. Having come across it, the husband forwarded it to his lawyer, and he sent it to mine along with the lawsuit. From that end, my attorney viewed it and wanted me to see it as well. In the video, which lasted 7 minutes and 6 seconds, Holly was visibly raping the Chihuahua. No audio was recorded as he was busy with the dog. Someone else was definitely holding the camera. I naturally pointed out that he and George had sneaked into the room at some point to do it, but my lawyer skipped to the 6-minute mark, and my throat went straight into my lungs. I was horrified to watch the cameraman turn the camera around to show that it was in fact my own drunken self, smiling and enjoying the event just as much as Holly was. Despite the obvious fact, I had not been drinking for 2 years, nor had I ever met Holly until that night. The damning evidence was right there in front of me. Investigators are searching for the rapist himself, but I know, as I sit here in county waiting for my court date, that they'll never find him. Things have gotten worse since then, as my insanely depressed mother and now ex-girlfriend came to visit, informing me that George was found dead in Atlanta, Georgia from an overdose. They went on to tell me that this would be the only time they ever visit, and I'm now dead to my own family. The stinging pain of knowing that footage is out there somewhere, the fact that Holly is still out there, these things add to the facts I now accept. A, I should rot in here. B, I should never have returned to the porn industry. And C, I should never have touched alcohol that night.